What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? My name is Chrii, and I'm coming in to bring a channeled message as well as, I think, some oracle tarot pulls to additionally pull in spirit. Um, I want us to start together in a space of resonant vibration. So we're just going to begin with some breathing. Take a deep breath in, all the way into your belly, your chest. Exhale and relax your shoulders down. Let them float down onto your back. Take another deep breath in, all the way, belly, chest, throat. Exhale, let the shoulders drop. Relax the middle of the back. Relax the bottom of the back. Let the hips settle into your chair. One more deep breath in. Okay. So I think that I have a few things. So I originally started this channel with the name Mind Off Grid, or Sominbo Mind Off Grid, which Sominbo is my business name that I've had for the past decade. Um, it stands for soul, mind, and body. I created that name when I was in massage school for my business plan. And I've been using it ever since because it was my creation, my baby. Um, so I moved it to my YouTube, but I feel like my YouTube is something different. And so I went mind off grid as to like break away from what I had previously built, which has been kind of scary. And it's taken me some time to settle into the now, my full now, which I still feel like it's growing and it's still forming. It's definitely not as solidly formed as Sominbo is. Um, but I feel like Mind Off Grid is sort of like a nickname in the meantime. Like when you call a baby a name that's not their name, but it's cute. It's something that really like attaches your mind to them. And I feel that what the new name will be going forward from this day is going to be Snake Tree Child, or maybe Snake Tree Children. Um, and I'll explain that a little later, but not in this video. But it refers to those who are consistently, because they're being called to eat of the fruit of knowledge. The fruit of knowledge about other people, the fruit of knowledge about themselves, the fruit of knowledge about whatever calls to them, no matter the genre of knowledge, no matter the lineage of knowledge, the things that are calling to them and in resonance with them in resonance with being a lifelong learner, being a lived learner, like not just taking things from a book and believing them, but taking them from the book and then also allowing them to be dissolved and or fortified through living those experiences. Having faith in the power of divine knowing. Like knowing that there's no degree that will show your knowledge fully. Knowing that there's no amount of licensures, knowing that there's no amount of tutelage sitting at the foot of someone else. You've been sitting at the foot of your own tree, going out into the world, tasting of the fruits and digesting them, and going into this next year, this 2026 year, this 10-year 2 plus 2 plus 6, there's a feeling that I keep coming across, and that is within my circle as well, of like not necessarily knowing what's right there. It's very granular, and but it's felt and it's felt deeply in the higher chakras systems, in the heart, in the high solar plexus, in the high heart, in the throat. You're speaking differently into the world. You're hearing differently, you're seeing differently, you're thinking differently, and not necessarily differently because of anything or anyone else outside of your own lived experiences. Like letting knowledge come in and letting that knowledge guide you in the tilt of your God within you. And moving in that way. And for you, for us, I know for me personally, and people within my circle, clients as well, this Mercury retrograde that just passed brought out a lot of clarity. Like a lot of questions were posed. A lot of moves were made that ended up answering questions, but not being a continuation. It provided clarity on those building loving boundaries, building non-codependent interpersonal relationships, knowing when to stop things, knowing when to call a flag on play, but always erring in the side of self-regulation. When acknowledging and building the foundations for how to find peace during chaos. Because it's clear that in many places in the world, externally, we're going to be going through some chaotic times for a little bit. And for those who have been really leaning in, which I don't even think it's just for those who have been really leaning in, but if you're listening to me right now, you've been really leaning in and seeing what's in your closets, seeing what's in the junk drawers of your brain, really defining the voices of your mind and being honest with yourself about whether those voices are taking you in a direction of flow, whether they are moving you in a direction that feels abundant, right? And not abundant in the material sense. Abundance truly comes from within, and it requires a cracking open of many of the things that you may have been taught to love, many of the things you may have been taught to allow, right? But now, and this is what I wrote prior to pressing play, allowing your truth to be full in its own silence. No more over explaining, because you hold the same level of faith for the God in them, in it, in us, that you hold for the God within yourself as a part of the sentient species that is humanity. You're not expecting someone to have done the amount of work that you've done, but you're also not shouldering the emotional labor that needs to be done for the work. If it's not your own work, or if it's not a reciprocitous situation, or if you feel like you're in a situation where diving in, leaning in that way would lead to a full deterioration, is that level of attachment necessary? You're really allowing yourself to be at a healthy distance, and not because you're in protection mode. If you're here listening to me, it's not because you're still talking in the rhetoric of, oh, I need to protect myself against the entities, dot, dot, dot. And while you may have practices, I'm not saying don't have practices, but also know that, hold on, I'm hearing hold no anxiety, hold more faith than you hold anxiety. Because if you put something out there, then you have to believe that there are going to come times where you might have to flip some tables. There might come times where spirit needs to flip some tables. And you have to have more faith than anxiety in order to keep making those steps. Because you got to believe. All right. I'm feeling like the cards are ready. Spirit is ready for the cards. You know, I sat down to do this message. As y'all saw, the dog was hanging out in the beginning. There's something about this message, because now she's down there throwing around a bone and talking to I don't even know what. I'm also starting to get this feeling like in the center of my chest. I feel like there's gonna be another set, but not quite yet. Now pull up Skeleton Tarot, and once again being reminded these are bare bones. Bare bones. So like going into 2026, going into this 10-year, and my ears are like, just what is this shuffle even? Bottom of the deck we have Six of Wands. Victory and success are yours. Be sure to act with dignity and wear your crown. Yeah, this is this goes along with what I was saying before about, that's the King of Wands, by the way, about like there is victory in allowing divinity to order your steps. Like I'm being brought an image of like early nomads and early forgers and things. That's too many cards. Early early nomads, early peoples that they had to go off of intuition. So now we have Queen of Swords at the bottom of the deck in the reverse. Cold-hearted and insensitive. That I'm feeling like that's one of the shadows of the now, because we've been conditioned over so many years to just follow along, just be warm and cozy, especially if you are of a marginalized, whatever your marginalization is. And I'm not saying this as a hierarchical black, white, brown, all the people, like race, gender. No. Whatever it is, whatever avatar. So if you are male born at birth, then you are expected to live and behave a certain way. If you are female born at birth, you're expected to live and behave a certain way. If you live in a certain neighborhood, you are expected to live and behave a certain way. If you drive a certain thing, have a certain profession, whatever, right? When you are in these spaces, you are expected to be a certain way. And when you lean into self many times, you gotta allow yourself to, for the first time sometimes, be the villain in somebody's story. Many people who are stepping into their divinity now, it's not always about doing this. Stepping into their divinity now are having to step into this space of being the villain in stories where for many years they've been the willing victim. We have this King of Wands. We have the Six of Pentacles. We have the Six of Cups. Ten of Wands, show others how things are done. Lead by doing. Waiting for the right moment to act. Contemplating battle strategies. Independent role model. Like I was saying, no more codependencies. No more codependencies. You're like, You're stepping away from things that many people would see as a come up, would see as a plus. You're allowing yourself to let stabilities go and pave a whole new road, because you're stepping into your own kingdom. You're building your own pyramids, I'm hearing. You're building your own legacies. And it cannot, the playbook that has been used and been successful has many, many martyrdoms written in its code. And that's just not something you're doing right now. The dying on your own sword thing is something that you're like, no, I'm not dying on my own sword. I'm living by my sword. I'm living by my sword. I'm not falling onto it because of the feelings of others. It's one of those things where you understand what is right and what is not right for you. Notice I didn't say wrong. Notice there, you're knowing what is right and what is not right, what is in alignment and what is in dissonance, what is in resonance and what is in dissonance. That's literally the basis. And you're moving in that way. So you're leading by doing. You're being the king. And then we have the Six of Pentacles here. I was pausing to see if there was a card from the metaphysical, but what returned to me was that we're going to go through all three first. And we have the Six of Pentacles here, and this is share your wealth and succeed. Be grateful for what you've achieved. Be fair in what is given. Discern worthiness of help. Like, all good money ain't good money. Like, there has to be other ways to thrive and to live, simply because there have been other ways of living and thriving, and energy does not die. So you're taking the time to share your wealth of knowledge about living abundantly in a way that is not maybe financially centered, but is successful. It's maintainable. And it not only maintains the things that we're told to maintain, it maintains your sense of self. It maintains your sense of nervous system regulation. It maintains your sense of joy, your sense of mental health. I heard also stability, mental stability, where you're not feeling like you're running around like a chicken with its head cut off, and you understand that sometimes the fruit that's being presented the fruit that's being presented is poisoned. And the person presenting it to you may not even know that the fruit they're trying to give you is poison and latent in fear. Fear is a poison. It's a good motivator as well, But that's when it comes from inside. Those are instincts, instinctual fear. But we've been fed so much fear, propagandic fear, throughout society, building of society, that we're now being called to unravel that and reclaim the lost thrones, reclaim the lost pentacles, but in a way that is not just about what we're able to tangibly see. And then we have the Six of Cups. Reach out to someone you care about and share a memory or create a new one so you both can enjoy the joy of sharing. Happy memory and positive legacy of childhood. Like I said, you're building legacies. And the of childhood part brought me with your kids. Like maybe you have children. And I have one son and my dog. But it's like pouring into the places that are pouring into you and allowing for there not to be overflow. What? There's a sentiment of my cup runneth over. Yes, but where does it go when it runs over? Where does it go? Do you need more than that cup is supposed to hold? If you step into a new role in something and your body goes completely haywire, or it's in a complete dissonance to be this way, are you stepping back? Have you stepped back? You have stepped back. Because you want to be able to create happy memories. You want to be able to create joy with the outside world. You want to be able to, Marion, you want to be able to imbue your inner light, your inner joy, your inner star, your inner God into the outside world. So things have to be in their proper places. Like, it is rare that a tree grows in the middle of a river, because the river's constantly moving and the roots need to ground. Things need to be in their proper places. Okay? And we're doing this from a place of love. Like I was saying in the channeled message that I wrote down, allowing your truth to be full in its own silence. No more over explaining, because you hold the same level of faith for the God in them, it, us, that you hold for the God within yourself as part of the sentient species that is humanity. You know that you got here through your evolutions of self, through your self-work. And yes, the outside world has helped. And yes, the divine is constantly pulling in things, lessons, blessings, questions for you to decide and answer. But you're doing it now from a place that comes from within. A place that's tried and true. You've tried it, and it is continually true. While also knowing that your truth is yours. So you're allowing your truth to hold its weight in silence, not trying to convince others of a truth that they might not be ready for. We have Numo with change. This card always brings up for me the idea of Pisces, because it's two serpentine fish looking dragons. But it reminds me of the yin yang. It also reminds me of the Gemini, um, because of the two heads on it. Then we have magic, alignment card. So change, alignment. Yeah, and change came in to pair with the King of Wands, about showing others how things are done, leading by doing, waiting for the right moments to act, contemplating battle strategies, independent role model. And you're changing how you interact, you're changing how you interweave with the world. And this is going to change the way people view you. And at first, the bottom of the deck is the vision card. It's going to change the way people view you. Because if for years you were the over-explainer, for years you were the forced teacher, for years you were the one that said the things that you were trying to help people or make people feel better or blah, 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 blah. When you stop doing that, when you hold faith that God has them the same way that God has you, that there's a deep warrior inside of them the same way there's a deep warrior inside of you, then you're no longer seen as this lit up goddess. Your silence many times is going to show up on the dark side of the moon for many people. As your light reflects the moon to them, reflects their moon to them, reflects their craters to them. And you just got to know that you're doing the right thing, because you know that there are times you can look back on where you're like, man, that was rough. But if I didn't go through that, I wouldn't know this. I wouldn't understand this. I wouldn't be able to feel okay in some of these lower situations because I've already done deeper than that. You understand that the lows many times, especially when they have to do with the material world. Now, when it has to do with emotions and things like that, those lows can stand some support, but it still needs to be done by the person holding the emotions. So your vision has changed, and therefore people's vision of you has changed. But you're standing now in the kingdom that was put forth for you. You're making this change. And I started off saying snake tree children. And this is the card that came out of the metaphysical cannabis deck. First, anyway. Under the Six of Pentacles, we have magic and alignment was the pairing metaphysical card. It's a hand. There's light coming out of the hand. I feel like I want to pull a book for this particular card because I'm seeing the imagery, and it's like it's sitting underneath these pentacles, It's like share your wealth and success. Be grateful for what you've achieved. Be fair in what is given. And discern worthiness of help. Like, you're reaching out. Your hand is reaching out. And the light from within you is coming out. But I feel like there's more to this message that will meet us once I get to that page in the book. Let's see, 85. Alignment. As early as 660 BC in ancient China, carrageenan from seaweed was used to create water-soluble lubricants. This was said to have been used for over 1,000 years. When this card appears, it is a sign for some major self-work. The mindset around pleasure has been steered towards shame for a very specific reason. If we could harness the true potential of creative energy, we might take complete control of our own lives. In this card, we see the hand has a small light emerging from the center of the palm, and the lines of palmistry are written in gold. The palms contain a chakra used and opened when channeling Reiki. This card may indicate that there is some prosperity coming your way. Yeah, man. Like your path, your vision, your legacy, your crown, your kingdom is meant to completely open this new way of being, this new way of living. You're meant to be someone to usher it in. And I'm hearing babies are born without money. Even if someone births a baby and then places a bunch of money in that baby's name, it wasn't born with it. Even if someone's family has a lot, they may not give it. What your path is to have a vision that is, I'm hearing, that is foolproof, that is smooth and fluid and well lubricated, where friction is a molding. Like I'm seeing like water running through a river and molding the rocks. And it's meant to just flow out of you. But this discerned worthiness of help is this divine silence that I was talking about, where you're like, okay, I feel more needs to happen, more needs to be done, but I'm not the one to do it. So I'm going to hold a silent resonance for that person's resonance with the potential that you are able to discern deep within them because of your own work on self. Because you can see somebody in a full place that they don't see themselves. You could see them when you've been spending the time to do your own work, especially if you are providing that work for others. If you're a spiritualist healer, if you're a shaman, if you're a body worker, if you're a Reiki, this specifically mentioned Reiki. Even if it's just you do it on yourself and your children, yourself and your family, you are tapping into that energy from a higher place, because you're not just channeling it through you, you're channeling it through you for someone else as a conduit of God energy, conduit of light energy. And when I say God, I mean, like, when I say God, I think general order of deities, God. It's all encompassing, because God is good all the time. And good is not always looking pretty. Good is not always bright and light. Sometimes good means change. Sometimes good means magic. It can't be explained with words. Only feelings. Only change. Only alignment. The Six of Cups was answered by the Ususi nature card. Reach out to someone you care about, to partner with the Six of Cups. Reach out to someone you care about and share a memory or create a new one, so you both can enjoy the joy of sharing. Happy memory and positive legacy of childhood. So this is nature. Nature is this card, and it's like fruits and sweets, natural sweets, just falling from the sky and all over the ground. I'm gonna go to the book for this one as well. But this is a beautiful message that's unfolding here. Like, there's a lot that's changing, but it's changing. And this is page 96 as well, which is that mirror again. That turning things upside down. Osusi is known as the magician of the forest. Shooting left-handed, he stands tall, drawing back an arrow on his bow. At his feet are forest plants, including the sacred cannabis plant. Ususi teaches that plants offer spiritual cleansing through herbal baths, jewelry, and remedies that can show us collectively and individually what the future may hold. His body is sculpted as a hunter and tracker, with bright blue accents on his dark melanated skin. The tips of his arrows are blue like lapis lazuli, along with the feather atop his head. The entire crown piece that sits with large lapis on his third eye. Nature will provide symbols at every turn for you gain more for you. Sorry. Nature will provide symbols at every turn for you to gain more insight. So this reach out to someone you care about. You might be in a place where reaching out to somebody you care about is harder than you would think it should be. But start small, like a child would. Start from your innocence. Start from your natural bounty. And everything, I'm hearing shoot for the stars, but not in a way where you're like expecting the full change today. When I'm talking with coaching clients, I often find myself reminding them that you are, I always say, a blobby little baby in this new thing. Be a blobby little baby. Allow your childlike joy. Allow the so a thought about my son just came up. He is not a vegetables dude, and I don't want to fight with him about food. That's just something I decided I wasn't going to do as a parent. was have a bunch of tussles about food. So I navigate getting him the proper nutrients through the abundance of veggie crackers and things that we have on the market nowadays. He will eat carrots though. And this card made me think about these cards and me talking about childhood. Most children will eat fruit all day. Nature's cornucopia, nature's ambrosia, all day long. And they're still getting an abundance of phytonutrients that way. But we have to allow that. We have to allow that space. Otherwise, we're filling their bodies with other things, and some kids take it, some kids don't. You have to treat yourself, this new self, with that same type of newness and with that same type of innate discernment, with that same type of unexplained yes knowing. Knowing as in ONING. Which brings you to know. KNOW. It's either going to be a yes or it's going to be a no. And your body will let you know that. And sometimes it is a maybe. But when it's a maybe, you got to tally up. Before it was a maybe, before we said yes to something new. Why? And also understanding that things have expirations. And we can allow things to grow in different ways. Hold your vision. Even if it's not a vision, like a visual that you can put your internal third eye eyeball on, and it's just coming out of your heart. There are people who live blind and still navigate the world. Focus on your vision, your heart vision. And I'm pointing high heart here. And allow it to grow. Allow it to be different than almost everything you've ever done. Allow the towers to happen and handle them with grace. And that just doesn't mean like, oh, you look good doing that shit, which you might. Especially if you've been through some other really serious hardships. I had so many people talk about how much they went through and survived in their childhood, and they struggled to find that same strength for other things in the now. Remember who you've been. Remember how strong you've been. Remember how strong you are being. And allow yourself, your thoughts of self, to fortify and build your kingdom. I feel like I want to pull one Archangel card. And then we're going to be done. And I feel like this Archangel card is not going to be for everyone. This card is going to be for someone who needs a little tangibility to call on a certain Archangel. Hanael, embraced by love. Let love reach where it has never reached before. And every time I see this angel card, it sort of gives me fairy as well. because of the like shaping of the colors behind look like fairy wings. And Hanayao is also, there's also a moon looking circle at the third eye. So we're really, like I said, someone who needs more tangibility, really circling in on that intuition and embracing love where it has never reached before. There are things that may be coming up for you right now, things that are coming up in your interpersonal, because you've done so much internal cleaning that the work has to be reflected to you. So this, how do we weave in love? How do we take the initiative to weave in more love? Knowing that we must love ourselves first and not in an egotistical way. But you also can't kill your ego. It's a part of you. It's a necessary part of you. But allow it to bolster you in a way that keeps you on resonance for the vision of your soul's legacy. All right, I feel like that's the end of the message, and I hope that you are well. I hope that you are finding wellness, and I wish for you peace and blessings. Mahalo.